Um, there is a rendering from with Rivet, which is part of your syllabus. Here, what you render is whatever model you generate as a 3D, you apply your materials and you render a 3D image out of it. Photoshop rendering is about a 2D image where you're going to do a presentation to a client of what your plan is, what the scheme is. You want to give a plan for a closure in which it needs to be shown with different colors, depth, and textures, and all of that would be done using Photoshop. So, to start off with, just a minute. So just a minute, sir. Just got permission to chat. Guys, hope the screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in this, just quickly to show you how to export a file from Rivet, take it into Photoshop for rendering. Hope you guys have installed Rivet from the website. Is it right? You guys downloaded the copy as a student's copy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The reason the reason I asked you is then only you'll be able to get the libraries also regarding the sheet template and all of that. So it's a new file. Quickly draw a sample drawing. Just height I restrict to 3 meters. So I brought a wall randomly to the walls. So 3 feet 7 inch, 3 feet and 7 feet low. Windows. So this is a drawing we got. and this you will be seeing in level 1. So how am I going to take it to a sheet? Here, there are two ways in which you can do for a presentation. Either if you want to add a sheet, you can go to sheet, right click on it, new sheet. You can load a sheet. This is the library, Revit library. Go to the library, you can go into metric because we are following metric as of now. In the title block, you have the various sizes. So for a presentation like this, I just use a A3. Loading. Your A3 template is got the default template. So now, if you see, I'm in this sheet. So I'll just bring the level 1 plan from here. Is it here? Now you see there is a big window here.
Yes, sir.
What is this? Is a with Revit when it's taking into consideration of what your drawing is. What is the window size? So I'll go back to level 1 to explain you this. Level 1. You see these are the points which marks you the elevation, and beyond which there is a invisible boundary, which is what guides you with that big box here. Box what you see here. So how to get rid of it, because we need the drawing. So what I do is I go to level 1. I go into the properties here, scroll down on the properties, and you have something called crop view. Click on this and crop region. Click on this. Now, once you see, you can see your dotted line. So this is that invisible boundary which takes care of your visual. So I just limit the boundary to where exactly your drawing is required. And you'll be still able to see this line. So just in case you want this line to be taken off, again go back to the properties, pick out after doing all the editing, remove the crop region. So this will go off. So now come into your project browser, you come into the sheets, and now you can see the drawing is here. And again, you see the level 1 which is marked out for the drawing, just in case you want this information also. So we can't edit it right away here. That's fine.
You can move it.
Yes. We can do it here also. Piece of it. Okay, let's see how it comes with the review, and then we see what can. So this is how you take up this drawing with the sheet. But normally, when you want to do a presentation, you don't want to have a sheet layout because you just want to use a drawing. So what I'll do is, I'll just go on. I'll take off this part. I'll go into the plan, and this is my drawing. Set the scale is 1:1. And now go for Control D. Now you open up into a window like this. So here basically what we are going to convert is we are going to convert into a PDF. That's how we are going to take it up into Photoshop and use it for rendering. So what is the window? Current window, the previewers. That's because we have already minimized the window. Just in case, I'll just show you how the window is going to be, if at all you're not minimizing the extents. This is if I'm not minimizing the extents. And you can see the drawing is offsetted. We go for this particular method. to get ourselves size with what exactly we want. Yes. So if at all you want to change it into a portrait or landscape, Control 3. You can go into properties. You can change it here. Portrait looks fine. And just in case you want to have another precaution of settings, Control P. You guys are able to see this window? The print setup? Guys?
What, sir?
Are you able to see this print setup window?
Yes, sir.
Raja sir, you're able to see this print setup window?
Sir?
Are you able to see the print setup window?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Now we can see.
So you are not able to see this window also.
This window we can see now, sir.
Oh, you didn't see, sir?
Just before we didn't see.
Okay, sorry. Then I'll just come back again. I'll just tell you. I was thinking it was being seen. Okay. So what you do is, you guys got this point, right? How to change your limits and extents. Now press Control P shortcut, and you will get into a print menu. Basically, we are getting into a PDF. So this is a PDF and current window. What the preview is, because we got the boundaries done. We got this point here. And in the print screen, print menu, you can go to properties. You can change either whether if you want landscape or portrait. So we just use the drawing exactly. Another settings in which you have to look for is setup here. So this is the print setup menu. In this again, you can set your sheet as what the size of sheet you want. A3, we go at A3. Drawing to be centered. Fit to page, yes, all of this. We go for vector processing only, not the raster processing. These others same. We want the same setting, yes. So now, okay. So I'm just saving it in here. Rivet R1 as a PDF. Okay. So now I'll just open up Photoshop. I'll tell you, you guys have known about. Have you guys tried exporting a file from AutoCAD into photo as a PDF? From AutoCAD as PDF. If you convert a file from AutoCAD as a PDF, basically what you get out of the drawing is you just get the lines alone. But in default, if you open the file using Adobe Acrobat Reader, you will see a white background. But the same thing, the same file, if you open the file in Photoshop, you won't see the white background. All you see is just lines. Is one major difference from the output what we receive from AutoCAD as a PDF, and from Rivet as a PDF you get more like a JPEG image wherein you have a white background and you have a black lines on it. So now I'll just open the AutoCAD. Sorry, Photoshop. So in Photoshop, I'm getting another image. The R1 is what? The setting, the size is given for A3. Someone's not muted the mic. Guys, yeah. So in this settings, if at all, we already set it for A3 and the resolution is what 300 because for a presentation, we'll have a better quality here and we don't need to change anything. And now we open up. Okay, fine. Okay, here we don't get it as a white background. Again, it's more like, sorry, because that information when I checked up earlier, it was different. This is a different version of Photoshop. So in the earlier version, it comes as a JPEG wherein you will have a white background as well as the lines. Now you see the background is empty. All you have is just the lines. If at all I can show you clearly, you can see this. Just the lines is what we got. So normally when we do as a presentation, what we do is, this is the Rivet file. I'll click Control N, which is a new file. I'll put Rivet presentation 1. A3, resolution is same. Click OK. And now this is the background screen. This is the foreground. Now I bring this drawing from here to here. And this is what the screens what you have. So all you have to do is now we have to fill in the colors in between these. So for this part, for me to just show you how to get this drawing here, I've just brought in here. So I'm going to share you a video which I've already prepared, which I did for another batch, but that was for that video has been made for the software AutoCAD and from AutoCAD how to take it into Photoshop. But more or less all the introduction and everything is same. The only problem with this video is when I was recording, the mic had a malfunction. So few places that I would have gone on a mute, wherein I was speaking, but it has gone on a mute. But not a problem. There's not much of information which has been missed out. So I'll show you this video. We are going to look into the video. And from the video, we'll finish off the video and then we can go for the questioning. So,
sir, I will say a point, sir, so that students will understand. Like,
yes, sir.
say, students, we are taking a PDF out of our sheets, okay, and then we are exporting that to Photoshop. That is what happening, and the file format is PDF. Okay, so our sheets are converted into PDF, and then we transfer that to Photoshop. Okay, that's what Sarah's told.
And yes, another caution I'm telling you, because this is the recent Photoshop and the Rivet also. With the earlier versions, what used to happen is even when you're converting a PDF from Rivet, you will get as a white background image with black lines on it, wherein the black lines can't be moved out from that separately. But when I try now, you are able to see just the lines alone, like how when we export a AutoCAD file, the lines alone stay there. So now when you look into this presentation, you'll be able to understand it better. So I'll share this screen. You guys are able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tell me if the audio is clear.
So let's begin with the introduction to Photoshop. So once you
Yes, sir.
open up Photoshop,
The audio, you're able to listen to the audio?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine.
so this is a default window you'll see. On asking what size of canvas you want to work on. So typically you can select any sizes. You do have options here. You can get presets. You can give your dimensions, what you want, pixels. So right now, as I already told you, so we'll go with the A3, which I've already used. I can have different sizes put up here on the various windows. You can pick up what size you want on the top. So I'll go into the recent. So I'll use the A3. And again, you can set a resolution. So resolution gives you the higher depth in your presentation. So normally don't go with the default. So the default is 72 pixels, whereas you can go for a 300 resolution. That would be a very ideal case. But telling you 300 resolution, again, will take a bit of a RAM in your computer when you're working on it. But it's still fine. I think most of the PCs will be able to cope it up. So click create. And now we got the new page opened up. So now we have to import our drawing into the file. So what I'll do is I'll go to file and click open.
Guys, this drawing, what I'm importing here is a AutoCAD plan, which is converted to a PDF. Just for our information. But the same thing is applicable to us, because now when I showed you how these lines are being extracted, the same thing is applicable to us also.
And this I'll go into our desktop. I'll go into our default location. There is the P1. I'll select that and I'll open this file. Again, it'll ask me what are the parameters I need to work on. I'll say I'll give the default size of what the file is, because we already brought it in as A3 and the resolution to be set as 300. And click OK. So now, do you see two different tabs here at the top? So one is here which says your sheet. Another one is your new file. And yeah, one thing which I missed out, I think I'll quickly run through now. So to give you an introduction on the user interface of Photoshop, on the top, what you see is the file menu bar, and then your quick tools. The toolbar is actually onto your left side. These are all the tools you have. We'll use few of the tools, not all the tools are required for us. And next, we'll come into this important section onto your right side bottom. The layers, and that's where all your different layers will be stacked up, and each of the layers would have different parameters to work out with, commands. So now I'll go on to it. So now you've seen there are two tabs which I've opened up here. So I'll open up pull out the tab, which is this we have to work on, and this is the sheet in which we are going to work the file we have brought in the presentation. So I'll click on it and pull it out. So now you see our background sheet is ready, and the file which we need to work on is on the top. So now the first button on the tool set, what you see here, it's called the move tool. So you keep your cursor close to it. It again gives you a preview of what the tool does. So again, what I'll do is this drawing, I need to tell you now for the backdrop, you see there's only one sheet which is called a background and layer is locked. Whereas if I go into this sheet, there is layer 1, but there's nothing, there's no lock here. And if I just use the move tool here, I'll just say Control A.
The audio is missed out, but not much to worry.
I'll do it here. I use a move tool, and you can see the drawing moving out here. I'll just take it here, and now I bring the drawing. After this, we don't have a use for this drawing. We are good. Close. And now you can see there's a background at the bottom and a layer 1, which is at the top. This is a layer 1, what we got. So I'll reposition layer 1.
I'm just
So
saying
make
how
sure you
to
click
move.
on the line of the drawing to move. It's okay if the edges get cropped up, which is not important for me. Only the plan is important. As in the frame. Now I just Control plus to zoom in. And basically this is a part we are going to work on. So we have a layer, and be sure on which layer we're going to work. We have to make sure it's selected, and then we work on it. So there are a number of selection tools in which we can work with. That is selection in the sense to select a particular area to give it the rendering, the color presentation, different colors. So what I'll do is I'll just show you what are the tools which are here. One is a rectangular tool. I've already clicked on layer 1. So if I want to render this living and dining space alone, I'll make sure I'll click on the edge.
Use a rectangular tool to select the particular region.
It's got various other geometrical shapes to work with. Single row, single column, ellipse and all of that. Next, there is a lasso. This is another tool. So that's again another tool for selection. So either there is a lasso, which is a freehand tool where you have to draw and select, which needs a lot of hand control. Next is a polygonal lasso, which just gives you straight lines. This is quite a handy tool for us. Select. And magnetic lasso, it will automatically trace the outlines of what we are going to work on. So this is again an easy tool, but still time consuming. So this is the tool which we will work on and which will be very handy for us, which will be the magic wand tool. So I click on this tool. So I'm in layer 1. And as I told you, I did a preparation. I drew a line here, which is a drop line. And again, for this bedroom, I did a drop line.
So what is this preparation? What I'm saying about is, normally in a plan, when we have a door, we don't have this line here. So this is going to be empty. So if I'm going to use a magic wand, if I'm selecting in the living and dining zone, yes, I've got a clear boundary. So here, if I select a region, the living and dining, all the empty space would be selected along with the kitchen space, because you can see the dotted line in the kitchen. All this would be selected. But if I want to select the door, if this line is not here, I would be selecting all this entire landing portion also. So this is a preparation which I did in AutoCAD itself. So I brought in a line between each of the spaces for the door over here, similarly in a bedroom door. So this line is just for presentation purpose. It's not a technical drawing line. This is just for a presentation purpose.
What I'm going to represent, I'm going to represent 3 different patterns. The living, dining, and the kitchen would be of one pattern. The toilet would be given another pattern, and the bedroom would be given another pattern, and walls would be given another pattern. So there are 2.
So I'll be saying totally 4 different patterns would be coming in it. So I've just selected the space, and this is what I said about. When I selected this empty slot, you can see all the living and dining has been selected. Similarly, the kitchen region, because of our dotted lines here, this is not a closed boundary. This would all become one entity, and the door alone is left behind.
Plus shift, which means add selection. If I press alt, it means subtract selection. So example, if I press plus, I can add this part to the selection. And if I don't want it, I'll press alt. So as of now, we need a plus. Okay. And okay, I made a selection. Now what I'm going to do is, for rendering, I need to create a new layer. So at the bottom of this window, the right side bottom, if you see there's a layer, create a new group, create a new layer, it's the second icon, and third is a delete layer. So I create a new layer. So a new layer comes on top of layer 1. Actually, I can rename these layers also to get a better understanding. Like I can give this the plan, and I can give this the living, dining, kitchen. And you can see background, we have plan, and we have living, dining, kitchen. And now, because I've created a new layer and I want the colors to be in a new layer, because I can vary the parameter. I can't have all the colors put up in the same layer. So I'll put the living dining and kitchen one layer, and I'll use a shortcut, which is now this is your color palette. What you see onto the toolbars, onto the left side bottom, you have a set of foreground color and you have a background color. We can use both of this. The foreground color, if you want to use, the shortcut is Alt and Backspace. If you want to use a background color, you can use Control and Backspace. And I'll leave off. Now, to apply the colors on the palette, so for the background color, so I'll use the shortcut of Alt and Backspace. It doesn't make a difference of foreground and background. It's all the same. It's more like a palette of two different colors. I can click on it, vary the color. And now I make sure I go into the living dining kitchen and use my shortcut of Control and Backspace. And now you see, and to deselect this part, to see a better view, you have to press the shortcuts Control and D. Now we got the space alert. But again, now we have noticed that something else is a problem, which is
The problem here is, if you can see, the text is being left emptied out. So that's what the audio says. So how to
could have
include that?
gone in and we could have selected that part. But still, it's not a problem now. We can do is, we can use a rectangular tool and make sure we are in the living dining kitchen layer. And I'll select this text as in a whole because these are all lines. What we're filling up is a layer. So I'll give Control and Backspace. Now I filled up that whole content. I know the period here, but you'll see what is the reason behind what is happening. And next, again for the kitchen, I'll make sure I'll select all of that and I'll apply. So I have an understanding here. You have a background sheet, you have plan on top, which is this lines, and you have living dining kitchen, which has got your color. Now, what exactly happened is the captions are gone and a few part of this door is missing here. That's because your colors are on top of the layer plan. So what I'm going to do is, you can see here, let's just zoom out. I'm going to bring the color layer beneath the plan layer. Now you can see what exactly is happening. Now we got our layers done perfect. So this is how we can color the bedroom again. So we'll do the same part. Go into lasso, magic wand, pick a magic wand, use add. Now again I'll create another layer. I'll make sure this time I create a layer beneath the plan layer, bedroom. And I'll give another color. And again, to apply it, I make sure I am on the layer B bedroom and give the shortcut Control and Backspace, and here it is coming. Now to teach you, so this is a race, and there's one other technique I'll tell you, and after which we'll go into the blending options. So now imagine, it's like I've been using all these colors. We can use any of these colors what is available here. And
Audio is missed out. Don't worry. Not much you'll lose here.
the layer which we're going to work on. So living, dining and kitchen. I'll click a back. So right click. Go on to the blending options here. And here you have various options to work with. So stroke is a line, inner shadow, out, inner glow. You can try out each of this. Like example, if I try inner shadow. So what you see is, you can see the preview happening on screen here. There is a shadow which comes in and it moves out. And how it's been blended. It gives you a depth, the three-dimensional depth. Rather, you can go for an inner glow. The color difference is not so prominent. Okay, now we see the color difference. This again gives you a depth, better feel. This can give you a much more better, clearer idea. This will be a much more better presentation. So, and color overlay gives you a totally different color. You can change your color totally to here, replacing the earlier color. Pattern overlay is something again we use a lot, where we have a default set of patterns in which we can again use the layers. This will be quite a useful part. I'll tell you what about this. So these are default, a very limited preset of patterns will be available, so we can use them. Okay, so I think inner glow is good for us, and I'll leave the setting here. Now you can see the difference here with the inner glow, and this one is a flat color. So what's the difference here? Again, I can go into a bedroom. I can right click on depending options. I can again go on inner glow. I can work my parameters. I can get off the inner glow. I can give a much more stronger sense of color here. How about we'll do an inner shadow? That's still fine. I can do that. Inner shadow. I won't do an inner glow. I'll do it in the shadow. So that again gives you what's the kind of stroke you want. Pick your sizes. Okay. Done. So these are two different effects which I've created here. And now for the toilet. So what I want to do is I can give a blue tile layer to include the toilet, but I don't want to do that. What I'll do is I want to have much more realistic. I open my browser and I bring my browser here, go into Google. I'll just say, okay, blue tile. Okay, now the set of tiles which are available, I can on the images for better. Okay, I can use any of them. I'll take this picture. I think this would be apt for me. So this is the picture which I've selected. I'll just right click onto the picture, save image, and it's getting saved in the folder CAD2. So I'll save it there, PNG format. Now I got it saved, and I'll remove my browser. Now what I'll do is, I'll go into File, Open, and this is the tile which I opened. So we'll open it. As we open a new file, again it's got a new tab. And here, this is where the magic happens here. So what we do is, now this tile is a JPEG file, and now I need to make this as a pattern, which we can use it here in a plan to render the toilet. So what I'll do is, I'll give a tile. I'll go into the tile file. I'll go into edit. And this is where the define pattern. I'll just click once. It shows me what is the pattern name. And I'll say the default name it is. And click OK. Done. And now this comes into our pattern library. So what I'll do is I'll go into the plan again. I'll select this part in which we're going to render the toilet. So I'll set shift, select this, select the shower area. It's part of the text also. So now this time, to make it convenient, I can't use a rectangle so easily between these text. So what I'll do is I'll go into a polygonal lasso. As I said, you can use a shift button to include them. I'll just include them into the selection. So now these are included. So below the plan layer, onto the right side, I create another layer, which is a new layer, and I renamed as T. And initially, what I'll do is I'll just give a color. Could be any color. I'll just give a color representation. So I've selected the blue, light blue. Go make sure to click on this to the layer T and control backspace. And now it's gone. So now what I'm going to do is right click on the layer T, go into the blending options, and here I can go into the pattern overlay. Click make sure you're selected so that it's been reflected already there. In this part, now I've got the pattern of the tile here. Now we can see the tiles being present here. So again, I can vary the scale of the JPEG image in which we have a tile. So again, I'll keep appropriate. I can keep moving on so that I can make sure where the tile line is also. I'm not going to show I'll show a very nice clean pattern. So I'll show the tile and keep it and click OK. So we are done. We are almost completed. I am not very keen in renting the furniture. And finally, the wall again. Yeah. So I'll go into the plan layer. The easier tool, the magic wand. Select the walls here. Use Shift. The mistake happened because I clicked on the line, which I shouldn't. I should click onto the empty space. And now I've picked up the walls. So I again come beneath the plan layer. I'll create a new layer called W. And I'll select the color. Usually to make a very professional representative, I make a black. So I pick a black and then I go and render the presentation. Another option is you can again change it into gray. That is also keep your very metal color. It's very simple. I go into color overlay, make go here, and I'll keep a gray. So here you can get to see a column grid again and finish it off. And then finally, to save the file, first make sure always save the file as a PSD. So I'll give presentation Photoshop 1. Save it.
Here, the PSD is the Photoshop source file. So this is what in the PSD source file, all the layers would be there. All the settings included in the blending option, all would be saved here. And after the PSD, we'll extract the output.
Always save the file first. And then to get a JPEG out of it, file, save as. Now pick JPEG, PP1 here, yes, save. It lasts for the resolution. Since the presentation, we always choose the highest quality, baseline standard, and keep it OK. Now remember, we have just done part of the plan. So we'll see how this JPEG file looks at. PP1. So this is the file we have worked on. So this is what the final output is. So you can have an exercise and you can fill up the other part.
So
Make a full presentation.
So guys, here in this presentation, that's just a part of it. But those are all the tools in which you fill up the old rendering. You can try doing for the plans what you've got and see how the output turns out to be. So this includes, like, as I said, with the an overlay, you can even render the furnitures also. You can give a carpet beneath the coffee table. You can give in blocks on the car parking. You want to give plans, you can give plans also. So any questions, guys? Anything, any doubts from the content? Anything which you didn't understand out of it? Guys?
Sir, like for the living room and the kitchen, it got selected as a whole, one entity, right?
Yes.
So if you want to split up, then how do you do it?
Normally, what I do is, in that case, I'll just show you.
Layer.
Okay, this is a place in which it happens. So if at all I want to split this up into two different spaces, there are two ways in which, actually three ways in which you can do it. While you're working in the plan in AutoCAD, Revit, make sure you include a line here, a filled up line, like how I did for the doors here. Make sure you include a line in the Revit itself, so this space becomes segregated. That is one method. The method two is, what I can do is I brought this drawing here. Okay, this is a dotted line. What I can do is I can select any of the lines from any horizontal line. I can just cut out a small portion and paste it here. As in, it's all in the same layer. what I'm doing is I'm imitating a line. I'm just cutting out a line from one particular region and pasting it here and making it into a, sorry, you guys are, sorry. No, I forgot to share the screen. Why don't you guys tell me that the screen is not visible? Guys. Okay. You're able to see this drawing, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So in this drawing, this is the place what you asked me, that if at all I want to be having a deselect from this place. So what I can do is, there are three methods in which we can work with. As I told you, in the Rivet plan itself, you can include a line like how I did in the living room door as well as the bedroom door. You can do at the preparatory stage itself as a complete line so that you have spaces segregated. Otherwise, fine, you have not done that in Rivet. Now you have come into Photoshop. What you can do is, I can copy paste any horizontal line. Imagine there is a horizontal line here, horizontal line here, even horizontal line from this door. I can just copy this line and paste it on the same layer, as like, because all these lines are in one layer. I can copy this line and I can paste it on top of this. So this becomes a closed edge. That is method 2. Method 3 is, I told you about selecting as addition and removal. As in, once when we selected, we got this whole space selected, but this door was not selected. So what you do is, when you're using Magic Wand, you use Shift button to select this. We can use Alt to deselect. Similarly, after selecting, I'm not talking about the door, I'm just talking about these two spaces, living, dining, as well as the kitchen. After selecting this space, I can go into the rectangular selection here and use the Alt button to deselect this particular corner, the kitchen. So that way I can remove this. And again, after deselecting it, what I will do is I'll create a layer just giving a name as living and dining. And so only this part would be colored. The living and dining would be colored. You get the point?
Yes, sir.
But I tell you, you'll definitely get more doubts only if you start working on it. And definitely you will have a mix-up with layers. See, layers is something, nothing but, it's more like example is a book. The books is a layer. So I'll take it the other way around. The one you see at the bottom, the first cover, what you see as a cover at the bottom, that is your background. Okay? 1. Imagine the first time I'm bringing in a drawing, which is plan, that is 2. And if you're creating any layer on top of it, which means it is going to overlap the plan. So what we do is, imagine plan is just a sheet. I'll put all my layers, I'll fill up all my layers beneath the plan. So I have an understanding of this stacking. This is what the layers will totally work like. You might see that at some point the colors get missed out, but the reason why it's not is missed out is because your colored layer would be on top of the lines. So put the lines at the top and put all your color layers beneath it in an hierarchy. You'll be able to work it with precision. Any other questions? There are a lot of tricks and techniques available in Photoshop, which even if at all we miss something in a plan during a planning stage can be altered. But again, ethically, we need to alter the drawing first, and then only we have to work on the presentation. But I'm telling you, the possibilities are there.
That is so.
Yes, sir. I need to say something.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah.
Sir, Raj, if
like,
you have any doubts, yeah, please ask me, sir.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. See, students, we have this assignment that is 2-bedroom house that you can take up as a sample. Okay, you have a Revit drawing for that assignment, and that you can export it to Photoshop and use it for this particular coloring. It's not only coloring in Photoshop, as I said, there are a lot of things we can do in Photoshop. Okay, so you take first the 2-bedroom house. Okay, that assignment for Photoshop and work on it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So all of you clear with this content? I'll post a link to this video also in our GCR. So just in case, if at all you guys have any doubts also, you can refer it back to.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do mark your attendance in GCR. I think people are missing out their attendance from GCR. Do remember to mark your attendance in GCR. So I think, so this we can wrap it up. Any other questions, guys? Anything which you didn't understand from this session?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Fine. You guys try it out, and then yeah, we'll see. Probably you will get more questions after that. Fine, Raja sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, guys. So I think we can close the session. If at all you try working out the afternoon, if at all you require, do let us know that we can do another session also.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But you guys let us know whether it's required or not. What time, sir? What time is the class in the afternoon, sir?
1:30 to 2:10.
Okay, let us know prior to that so that we can set up a meet and we can come in for the session.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
practice
sir.
on this and let us know your feedbacks.
Yes.
Okay.